30 killed in fresh attacks in Plateau State as terrorists strike Katsina community, killing 6 and abducting several others. Ex-Anambra Governor Willie Obiano pleads not guilty to alleged 4 billion naira fraud, granted bail. Public Complaints Commission officials lock up commissioner over welfare. On the foreign scenes, dozens die in fire in China's southeastern Jiangxi province. Hello there and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll begin the news tonight with issues around security. No fewer than 30 persons, mostly children and women, have been killed by assailants in Kwahaslalek village, a community in Mangu local government area of Plateau State. President of the Magavul Development Association, Joseph Gwankat, said the attack occurred on Tuesday night while residents assembled at a compound in the village to observe the curfew imposed on the local government by the state government. Houses and property were also destroyed in the attack. 2 other communities of Kinat and Merana on the borders of Mangu and Barkinladi local government areas were also attacked the same night. Sources indicated that aside from the attacks at Sabongari and Mangu, the attackers unleashed terror on the other communities. The police in the state have since confirmed Tuesday night attack on Kwahaslalek village as well as the burning of the market and worship centers in Mangu town. DSP Alfred Alabo said the police were yet to ascertain the casualty figures and level of destruction as investigations were ongoing. Meanwhile, the 24-hour curfew imposed on Mangu local government area by the government is still in force. We now have joining us now via telephone our reporter in Jos, Plateau State capital, Ado Musa, joining us to give updates on the situation there. Ado, welcome to the News Hour once again. Earlier we spoke during the news update where you gave some updates about the situation there. So far, what do we know? Has the police released any statements regarding casualties or the situation in the area?
With regard to the casualty figure, up to now, none of the security agencies has given the number. But different groups, particularly the warring parties, have confirmed to us the number of people that were killed from their own community. But the spokesperson of the State Police Command has also told me this evening that they have made a lot of deployment, and even the head of, or rather the representatives of all the head of security agencies are also in Mangu at the moment. So the situation in Mangu is very, very peaceful at the moment because this is gradually returning.
Okay, Ado, during situations like this, I know expectedly we get information, response and reaction from Operation Safe Haven. I don't know if you've heard anything from Captain Oya James about this situation and what the armed forces, by extension the military, is doing about the situation.
No, we have not heard anything from Captain Oya James, but the GOC of the 3 division have confirmed to journalists that they have also made a good number of deployments, and they are very sure that peace will definitely be restored in Mangu. And that collaborates with what we have been hearing from the residents of the community this evening, because a lot of them are telling us that normality is gradually returning. Only that some of the deaths recorded since yesterday, they have not been able to bury them. They complain that they are decomposing because the situation did not allow them to bury some of the corpses recorded during the crisis.
Okay, Ado, there seems to be a lot of concern around these areas, Barkinladi, Mangu, Bokos. This is not the first time the attack has happened. I don't know if you're in contact with any of your sources with regards to whether when the security was beefed up the first time we had the first set of attacks on the eve of Christmas, and whether there was any form of beefing up to the extent that they couldn't foil this attack when it happened last night. Was it that when the first attack happened, there was presence of security agents, and then at some point they were withdrawn, and as such they couldn't detect, you know, the activities of the assailants, unfortunately, that perpetrated this act? Or what exactly was the situation to have allowed the breakdown of the law and order to this extent. I don't know if you got any information with regards to that.
Yes, from the start of the communities, we have been hearing a lot of stories. But the security agencies, up to now, they have not said anything with regard to why the killings and burning of houses continue. But what the communities are telling us have been that the number of the security personnel expected to be everywhere are not available. That the number of the soldiers and the police they are seeing, they believe that they will not be enough to tackle some of the challenges that they were facing. And that was why even this morning the crisis continued. At the moment, they believe that normalcy is returning in some of these communities. So basically, the reason why the crisis will continue was just because there are no much security personnel on ground to tackle the problem.
Okay, but finally, a couple of years back, we saw something similar like this happen in areas in the northwest, for example, Katsina, and Zamfara State. Of course, there are still pockets of these insecurity activities in the state. However, have you heard any form of chatter with regards to these locals seeking for an alternative means of protecting themselves or defending themselves, in situations like this?
Well, we have not had that one up to this moment, but you'll be hearing a lot of complaint that is from the both sides of the divide. This group will say no because of the presence of this particular security agency. That is why we are finding it very difficult. The other group will also tell you that because of the presence of this particular security agency, that is why we are also finding it very difficult. But with regard to the kind of, let's say, self-defense, up to this moment, they have not come out to say this thing because virtually all of them believe in one form of security agency or the other to maintain law and order within the affected community.
Thanks once again for the update, Ado. And of course, we will touch base with you subsequently, of course, maybe tomorrow, as events develop. Ado, please stay safe.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening. Yes, Ado Musa, Trust TV reporter in Jos, the Plateau State capital, giving updates on the situation in Mangu local government. Still on security, terrorists on Tuesday attacked Yandaka Ruma community in Batari local government area of Katsina State, killing 3 people and abducting an unspecified number of people, including women and children. The terrorists who arrived Yandaka Ruma on motorcycles and wielding dangerous weapons opened fire from different directions. They also looted shops and carted away food items worth thousands of naira. Abdullah Yamadi brings us up to speed on the attack.
Well, at the moment, residents of Yandaka Ruma said several people sustained various degrees of injuries from gunshots, and they have since been rushed to hospitals where they are receiving medical attention. Similarly, a few kilometers away from Yandaka Ruma is Garo community, which came under heavy attack this Wednesday morning, where residents said unspecified number of people have been killed, while some residents are saying 2, some are saying 3, with unspecified number of women and children said to have been abducted during the attack. The rampaging bandits looted shops and dispossessed households of their monies and other valuables. The residents are saying the bandits are suspected to be members of a terrorist kingpin operating from Zamfara State, Abdul Karim Black, who is an indigene of Yangaye village of Bazari local government. This according to them. And of course, Yandaka Ruma, people may wish to know, is only 2 to 3 kilometers away from Tasharnagulle, a community that was attacked last Sunday, while Garawa is few kilometers away from the 2 communities, that is both Tasharnagulle and Yandaka Ruma. However, up to this moment, authorities in Katsina did not release any statement in relation to the 2 attacks. Trust TV in Katsina made several unsuccessful efforts to reach the police public relations officer of Katsina State Command to confirm the attacks. This is the situation at the moment, and we believe we continue to follow the situation and report them as issues unfold.
Trust TV's Abdullah Yamadi giving an update from Katsina State. Still in security, gunmen have killed 2 persons suspected to be a couple and dumped their corpses inside the boot of a Toyota Camry car believed to belong to the deceased couple. The corpses, dripping blood, were seen by passers-by at a lonely place along the Temple Junction in Umunya axis of the Enugu-Onitsha Expressway in the early hours of Wednesday. A video currently trending on social media showed the car being surrounded and inspected by passers-by. The vehicle doors were wide open while the 2 bodies were dumped inside the boot. When contacted, the police public relations officer of the Anambra State Police Command, DSP Ikenga Tochukwu, confirmed the incident. Ikenga added that the police personnel attached to the Oyi division have recovered and deposited the 2 lifeless bodies in a mortuary, while investigations have commenced to unravel the circumstances surrounding the deaths. And as concerns continue to grow over the rising tide of insecurity in parts of the Federal Capital Territory, transporters are calling the Nyesom Wiki administration to implement a comprehensive database system aimed at enhancing security and ensuring a smooth flow of transportation in Abuja. Habibat Ajayi reports on the move by the minister to ban unmarked buses and taxis from operating in the capital city for safety reasons. Here's the report.
The reoccurring incidents of one-chance criminals in Abuja has become a public concern, which has led to plans by the Wike administration to propose plans to ban unmarked vehicles from operating public routes as a stopgap measure to address insecurity. Over the past weeks, many unsuspecting commuters have fallen victims to criminals who masquerade as taxi drivers, engaging in robbery, assault, and even murder.
What we have tried to do now is, which we did not do in December, but which by the grace of God, by this February, we think we are going to achieve that. We are not going to allow vehicles that are not with FCT color, which is being registered by the FCT, to apply commercially. In that way, you know, this driver is being approved by the FCT, and the buses or the taxis are approved by the FCT. So you as a passenger will not take the risk of going to enter a vehicle that you don't even know. Uber will have to be registered too. It has to. Who are these drivers? We need to certify them. You need to profile them by the security agencies. This is a city. If you don't have rules, it will be a problem.
As a result, residents and drivers in the FCT are advocating the establishment of effective measures to restructure the existing transport system in the nation's capital.
Due to what the minister is saying, is right for FCT this thing, but the only thing is that I've been in Abuja for so many years. There are some estates you can never work in Abuja. There are some estates where we say yes, you know people use taxi driver, which they will told you that unpatented, even though with the University of Abuja is among of all these places. If you go ever be estate now to carry a drop now, some if you are patented, they're not going to allow you enter.
Sammy is supposed to come down to the driver and ask them, what do you people need? How do we incorporated you to this arrangement that we are making? Then the driver would say, like, they're supposed to create a park, a proper park. This one is not a park, proper park for us. And they collect their revenue, you understand me? And they pay some of the people that they needed to pay, and the driver will work successfully.
If you know you're a transporter in Abuja, they did it before. They take their datas. They take their data capture. They can join them with maybe use one organization or the other to join with a national union, combine them together, make sure that every driver's Every driver that is applying inside the FCT are data captured. Then they have their code. NIN has code that you can use to identify driver license, that you can use your code and put.
The initiative is designed to streamline vehicle appearance, which will lead to achieving uniformity and standardization, with further efforts and modalities expected to address the broader challenges within the FCT transport system. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And the FCT Commissioner of Police, Haruna Garba, has restated the command's commitment to safeguarding the Federal Capital Territory. CP Garba stated this while parading suspected kidnappers and armed robbers at the command's headquarters in Abuja. Trust TV's Neil Sampson has more the details.
The arrest and subsequent parading of the suspects is coming after weeks of reported cases of kidnapping incidents in the FCT, which led to the launch of a special intervention squad by the Inspector General of Police to curb the menace of kidnapping, armed banditry, and other sundry crimes in the FCT. The commissioner stated that many kidnapping suspects have been arrested and victims rescued, adding that various categories of arms, ammunition, and vehicles were also recovered from the suspects.
Several heinous crimes in the last few weeks have been prevented by the police command in the FCT without people knowing all these efforts that we have undertaken. It is when it does occur that members of the public get to know about it.
He also gave an update on the security situation in the Krudu area of the FCT, where 2 persons were kidnapped last week.
We have undertaken a holistic view of that area. We have mapped out the area, and the patrols is ongoing, at least for confidence building on the members of the public. Krudu is, for now, peaceful and calm, ditto to Buhari, as is, since we made a deployment, massive deployment in that area. We have not had any single case of kidnapping since then.
Some of the suspects admitted to committing the crimes they were arrested for.
The initial plan was not to take anybody along. Understand me? The initial plan was not to take anybody along. But it was Yellow that insisted the man should be Yellow because he wanted to collect money from his account. The initial plan was just to, I don't know if you're hearing me, the initial plan was just to snatch the car and go away. That is it.
In Kaduna or in Abuja?
In Abuja, yeah.
Someone driving motor come. They drive to the front of that man. They block the man. So the one at the front, the one that carry gun, shoot the tire of the man. Shoot the tire. He shoot the tire of the man. That time they have already blocked. So,
what was the aim of objective for the patrol?
After he shoots the man tire, they don't run to the man. They carry the man. Because I was in the back seat, 4 of us. They carry the man, come join us for back there.
I tried to steal items from inside someone's car.
Yeah.
At FAB Global Estate.
So how were you caught?
While I was inside the car, while I was searching the car, another car pulled up. I think he's a security in the estate. He pulled up, so I left the car. I opened the car and I ran.
So is this the first time I've done this?
Yes.
The Commissioner of Police emphasized the need for collaboration between the residents and the police in the area of information sharing to help curb crimes in the FCT. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And soldiers from the 1 Battalion Nigerian Army Duku Barracks in Birnin Kebbi and a vigilante group have neutralized some bandits operating at the Sabon Birnin forest of Shanga area of the state and rescued 4 kidnapped victims from their hideout. Those rescued from the bandits include a 60-year-old man, Hakimi Rumbu, Amina Diko Abdullahi, and Bello Abdullahi, a 22-year-old from Tungan Namuna in Koko area of the state. Briefing journalists at the Cabinet Office in Birnin Kebbi, the Director of Security, Abdurrahman Usman, said the troops also recovered 3 AK-47 rifles mounted with 3 magazines, 3 extra magazines, 142 rounds of live ammunition, and pairs of military uniforms from the bandits' hideout at Sabon Birni. While commending the troops, Usman said Governor Nasir Idris has given security operatives in the state both moral and material support to enable them carry out their duty of protecting lives and property in the state. Also, Matazu local government of Katsina State have alleged that vigilantes are dispossessing them of their animals, urging Katsina State government to initiate their relocation to another part of Nigeria. The Fulani herders who allege that vigilantes constantly attack their communities on mere suspicion, an allegation which the chairman of Matazu local government dismissed. Abdullahi Yamadi tells us more.
These Fulani herdsmen accused the vigilante group of Matazu local government of dispossessing them of their animals and handed over them to some military officers in Matazu, and many of their animals could not be retrieved from them. The herdsmen said when they contacted the military personnel deployed to Matazu local government, they were told to check for their animals in Katsina, as they have been handed over to the higher authority. On reaching Katsina, they were made to pay about 600,000 naira to take back the few animals they could find. We are in a very critical condition. Now, if any Fulani herdsman wants to relocate to another place with his animals, securities and vigilantes would not allow him. They would say he's a bandit. If you stay, they confiscate and kill you. Look, we sneaked out of our area to be here in Katsina, and we were harassed and intimidated along the road, even when we were accompanied by our ward head. We really don't know what to do and where to go. We have been dispossessed of our entire means of livelihood. We are not spared by bandits. The constituted authorities are labeling us as collaborators to bandits. And all we are saying, let there be justice. Investigate us. If we are guilty, then prosecute us accordingly. But don't treat us as enemies. However, Chairman of Matazu Local Council Shamsuddin Muhammad Sayaya, while reacting to the allegations, said the claims are baseless and unfounded, calling on all well-meaning citizens of the area to support government's efforts and commitment of fighting bandits and their collaborators.
In a security operation like this, I believe those in the possession of those animals were not happy with the actions of the security personnel, because in one way or the other they collaborate with those bandits. They either give them shelter or they conspire with them in one way or the other. So they will say as much as they can to tarnish the image of the whole exercise.
This is not the first time herdsmen will raise alarm over excesses of vigilantes, including the proscribed Ensake and some security operatives in the state. Abdullahi Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, has arraigned former governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, over alleged 4 billion naira fraud during his time as governor of the Southeast State from March 2014 to March 2022. The 68-year-old was arraigned on Wednesday before Justice Iang Ekwo of the Federal High Court, Abuja. Obiano pleaded not guilty for the crimes and the charges of money laundering leveled against him. The prosecution said he has 14 witnesses lined up to testify against the former governor. Obiano is currently on administrative bail granted him by the EFCC, which includes providing 2 sureties who are directors in civil service and own landed properties in Abuja. Justice Ekwo adopted the administrative bill and added that Obiano remains within the Federal Capital Territory while his travel documents be submitted to the court. The court also stated that the immigration be alerted that all travel documents are in their possession. And ahead of the February 3rd by-election in 6 local government areas of Kano State, the police has announced that only federal security agencies will take part in the electoral process to ensure security during the by-election. The election spans 6 local government areas covering 3 states' constituencies. The police has instructed state-owned security entities including Hisba, Karota and vigilante organizations to abstain from involvement in the electoral process. In a parallel statement, Ambassador Abdul Zango, the resident electoral commissioner, assured the public of strategies for a free, fair and credible by-election in a secure environment.
All our preparations for the rerun elections coming up on 3rd of February are on course. The logistics, all the other necessary things have been dealt with. We have had meetings with stakeholders, with political parties, civil society, media, and today we had a meeting with the security agencies so that we devise strategies to ensure free, fair, credible elections in a very secure environment.
We are not going to use personnel that are not members of the Nigerian Police Force and the related security agencies in this election. The vigilante are not going to be part of this election, or any security agency that is not a federal agency recognized by the law will not take part in providing security in this election. This is just to ensure that the security of the election is lying on the police authority as well as other security agencies recognized by the law.
And violent clashes erupted between NNPP and APC supporters in Kadami Village, Gaya local government, triggering injuries and property damage. The incident unfolded on January 15 following the Supreme Court's decision on January 12, overturning the Court of Appeals ruling that ousted NNPP's Abba Kabir Yusuf as Kano State Governor. The confrontation resulted in injuries, 3 burnt shops and looted properties. The police has so far arrested 12 individuals in connection with the incident. At a reconciliation meeting with the police, accusations and counter-accusations across party lines were made. The Emir of Gaya, Ali Ibrahim Abdul Qadir, cautioned village and ward heads about violence, warning that any traditional ruler caught in connection with disturbances will face the law. The Emirate established an 8-member reconciliation committee to prevent political violence recurrence, chaired by the Emir and comprising 2 members from each party.
We are not happy with what happened. We are taking serious measures against the barbaric actions between people of the same area, maybe the same family. Those who make trouble in the name of politics are known and their parents are known. However, ward heads pretend as if they do not know them. I hereby give the directive to village heads to make sure they report anyone who breaks the law to the police.
12 people are involved in the course of our investigation. We now brought them to the Emirate Council, to the palace. And now we did the interrogation in the face of the public so that everybody will confess his involvement. So the meeting is positive. A lot have been discussed, and we have set up a 7-man peace accord committee in which they are going to look into the remote and immediate causes of this incident and propose a solution which is purely going to be a community-based.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Here's what's to come. A call for help from a young medically challenged street beggar. This and many more stories after the break. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with the News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the headlines again. 30 killed in fresh attacks in Plateau State as terrorists strike Katsina community, killing 6 and abducting several others. Ex-Anambra Governor Willie Obiano pleads not guilty to alleged 4 billion naira fraud, granted bail. To other stories now, the FCT Police Command has clarified that the explosion near a refuse dump outside the Bureau of Public Enterprise premises in Maitama, Abuja, was caused by overheated metal refuse bin. The clarification, according to the FCT Command spokesperson, SP Josephine Ade, followed a report by the Rapid Response Team and members of the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit, which was deployed to assess the situation. Ade said preliminary findings indicate that an overheated metal refuse container activated under intense heat exploded, causing injury to 2 of the refuse evacuators who are currently receiving medical attention at Maitama General Hospital. The FCT Police Command, while urging members of the public to exercise caution and refrain from using metal refuse bins, however, recommended the use of plastic or rubber containers for waste disposal as they pose a reduced risk of incident. Meanwhile, staff of the Public Complaints Commission on Wednesday locked the Chief Commissioner, Abimbola Ayo Yusuf, in the office during a protest over the non-payment of the consolidated legislative salary approved by the National Assembly. The action of the PCC workers in Abuja was premised on their protest to express their grievances. In 2021, the Senate upgraded the salary scale of staff of the Public Complaints Commission from Consolidated Public Service Salary Structure, CONPAS, to Consolidated Legislative Salary Structure, CONLES, paying following the failure of the payment. The Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PCC chapter, in June 2023 directed all staff of the commission nationwide to embark on an indefinite strike. During Wednesday's protest, the aggrieved workers refused to open the gate for policemen who were supposedly invited by the PCC management.
The past 1 year, Christmas, we did not have a dime for bonus, but every other commissions around here, they went back home with maybe 20,000 bags of rice and all of that. We don't have. So we had always been longing for a time that our budget would step up. But from the information gathered, they had stepped up our budget. Yet, it's like the commission is not ready to do the needful for the staffs. You can imagine a director of the commission struggling, the staff boss, at the end of the day, after work. It shouldn't be like that. At least a staff of the commission should have at least a take home at the end of the month.
And elsewhere, the Taraba State Commissioner for Youth and Sport Development, Joseph Joshua, has been accused of obtaining a fake certificate. It is alleged that Joshua obtained the fake degree certificate from a university in Benin Republic in 2021. The allegation is contained in a petition to the State Security Service, SSS, and copied to the State Police Command. The petition, dated 15th January 2024, was written by Jalingo-based legal practitioner Nasiru Muhammad on behalf of Suleiman Adamu, a social activist. When contacted to react to the allegation, Joshua replied with an SMS message saying, "I have no comment. Let the security do their job." The police public relations officer in Taraba State, Usman Abdullahi, said he was yet to see the petition. Recall that the Minister of Education, Tahir Mamman, recently inaugurated an interministerial committee to investigate foreign universities awarding fake degrees to Nigerians. The fake degree scandal started after an undercover journalist revealed that he obtained a degree within 6 weeks and was mobilized for the mandatory 1-year National Youth Service by the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC. And the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has destroyed a vast illegal refinery site in the creeks of Degema local government area of Rivers State. The illegal bunkering site, situated in a thick mangrove at Cotton Channel 1, was destroyed by the Marine Unit of NSCDC in the state, following formidable intelligence. All materials used in carrying out the illegal oil bunkering and 4 different refining stations were destroyed, with some personnel drafted for intensive patrol of the area to ensure that the suspects who are being trailed do not regroup and reconstruct the site. Addressing journalists after the operation, the public relations officer of the command, Olufemi Ayodele, explained that having vandalized Sahara oil pipeline, the owners of the illegal site regularly siphon crude oil to carry out the nefarious business. He said the operation is in line with a renewed charge by the NSCDC Commandant General Abubakar Audi, who directed the Rivers State Commandant to set up intelligence and protection of all critical national assets and infrastructure on land and waterways. This is coming 2 months after suspected sea pirates in the area believed to be crude oil thieves killed 7 NSCDC operatives who were on pipeline surveillance. Also, the Yobe State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has arrested 3 suspected vandals and impounded 1 trailer truck conveying no fewer than 450 stolen railway slippers. Parading the suspects to newsmen in Damaturu, the State Commandant of the NSCDC, Adamu Idris Zakari, said the 3 suspects were arrested by men of the anti-vandals unit of the command. Zakari said the estimated value of the exhibits at purchasing level is about 3,372,500 naira, while the estimated selling cost is about 5,922,000 naira. He said the arrest was carried out at Kandahar Junction of Damaturu, adding that the prime suspects are one Adamu Abdullahi of Nainawa Bypass in Damaturu, age 25, and the driver of the truck, Muhammad Haruna, alongside Bashir Bako, a motorboy. According to him, the case is right now with the Intelligence and Investigations Department of the command, adding that the suspects will be charged to court after investigations are completed.
About 450 sleepers. The purchasing price at about 3.something million, and the selling price about 5.something million. You can see it for yourself. Let me use this opportunity again to call on people to please and please, this time around we are ready for any show. We are ready to face the vandals. We will fight vandals to the end by the grace of God, and we are going to succeed over them because they are enemies of the society. An enemy of the society is supposed to be fought for the betterment of the society.
Away from that, across several rural communities in Kano State, grains like sorghum are often neglected as a staple food due to difficulty in processing, even though such foods hold the key to healthier living. To address this, Center for Dryland Agriculture at Bayero University, Kano, unveiled a groundbreaking initiative revolutionizing local diets with an improved composite sorghum flour. The project aims to improve the availability of safe, nutritious and sustainable local food addressing climate change challenges. Trust TV's Ibrahim Abdulaziz has more.
Bayero University Kano Center for Dryland Agriculture's recent research focuses on creating sustainable packaging solutions for composite sorghum flours. The research was initiated to address grassroots problems of processing, reduce import, and promote food security.
One of the reasons why people are shifting to new food is that these ones are easier to prepare. You easily get maize flour anywhere and package already. You can come and cook. Rice is from Buhu to Rumbu to Port. So they thought, okay, why not do research and bring ways that we can make our indigenous food, our indigenous crops like sorghum, millet, and so on, also in a similar way.
Even the rural market, you don't find semi-processed food of sorghum or millet. You will see garim dawa, you will see semovita, you see yam, you see rice. All of these are things that within 15 minutes you can prepare. This is what majority of the populace are looking for. And this project has given us this opportunity to start it in Nigeria.
According to researchers, the composition of sorghum, soya beans, and cassava flour doubles protein content while addressing issues in food processing, distribution, and storage.
Preparation time it takes that it discourages people to use such combination, then it had been reduced now. So we hope, because we did it with our locality in mind, with our consumption patterns. Most people consume tuwo, but they go for the easiest. Those that can afford consume semovita. Others consume other ready flours that are not so nutritious. So with the introduction of this, we are hoping that with time, it's going to overshadow or overcome the other flours, and we are going to see the changes in the health of people that consume it because of its nutritional benefits.
It is hoped that these collaborative efforts enhance local diets and empower Kano's sorghum farming communities. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
In Bauchi State, a 16-year-old Awal Yusuf, a patient battling elephantiasis and a street beggar, has issued a heartfelt plea to both the state government and compassionate individuals. Residing in the Nasarawan Jahun area of Bauchi metropolis, Yusuf, fondly called Baba, bears the weight of his health condition evident in his swollen body. The affliction has compelled him to seek alms daily on the bustling pavement of the road near Wunti Market Junction as he strives to sustain himself and afford the painkillers essential for his daily survival. Adam Iman has more of the details.
A traumatized Awal Yusuf is always looking haggard and dirty as he goes about his daily routine without bathing for months and wearing the same pair of clothes. Yusuf is exposed to the scorching sun when the weather is hot and to extreme cold when the weather is cold. His breathing is stressful due to his health condition, which makes him exhausted all day long. I seek for help, please. With this my condition, the situation is unbearable. Even to start doing something in my condition that had turned me to a beggar here at Wunti Junction. I could remember somebody helped me before, took me to a hospital, and I was diagnosed and given some drugs, but it finished, and the man did not come back. I can't take myself back to hospital. Please, I need help from government and well-to-do people. His deteriorating health has gone from bad to worse because he hardly stands on his own, except with the support of spirited individuals or commercial auto rickshaw operators known as Kikina Pep that usually bring him from his home in the morning and return him in the evening. Yusuf sometimes spends almost the whole day lying on the floor, urinating and defecating on his body due to the pains associated with his health condition. Reports say he sometimes passes the night at the Wunti Junction and continue the next day without anyone coming to take him home. It would have been better if he is going back home, people should follow him to where he resides, so that people can help and take him to bath and change his dirty clothes. Yusuf told Trust TV that he lost his father when he was young, adding that his mother cannot afford the upkeep of the family, which prompted him to start begging despite his condition. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're still watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Join us again. Welcome back. We'll now join Yusuf Akogu, who is standing by for business news.
Time for business news. I am Yusuf Akogu. Global Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative has called on the federal government to make full disclosures of the terms of the deal struck with Africa Export-Import Bank for the $3.3 billion cash loan that was guaranteed by future oil production in the country. The Global Transparency Body, which also expressed concern over the lack of openness in contract executed in Nigeria's oil and gas industry, said the government needs to come clean on the payment mode for a 20% stake in the $20 billion Dangote refinery. EITIS Deputy Executive Director Badi Balde says citizens need to know how much of future oil production has been pledged to service the debt. Mr. Balde pointed out that though Nigeria has performed well in the implementation of its EITI standard in the past, validation of the country's performance for 2019 to 2022, which was carried out last year, showed that implementation has declined in areas of contract disclosures. The three tiers of government recorded 1.05 trillion naira in income from exchange rate gains into the Federation account in the 9 months to September 30, 2023. This was as a result of 71% depreciation of the value of naira during the period. This represents a 10,400% increase when compared with the 10.35 billion income from exchange rate gains recorded in 2022, when naira depreciated by 4.8%. exchange rate gain income represents the difference between the prevailing exchange rate in the official market and the exchange rate assumption of the budget for the year. The Central Bank of Nigeria expects inflation rate to decline to 21.4% in 2024. CBN Governor Yemi Cardoso disclosed this during the launch of the Nigeria Economic Summit Group Macroeconomic Outlook Report for 2024 titled Economic Transformation Roadmap Medium-Term Policy Priorities, which took place in a hybrid format in Lagos. He said the projection for the national economy paints an optimistic trajectory as the federal government of Nigeria anticipates real GDP growth of 3.67%. Now to food commodities. Food prices in Nigeria have been rising. Let's see prices of some selected food commodities in Nigeria for today. Now to the forex market. Naira firmed up at the NAFEM window while maintaining stability at the parallel market on Wednesday. Let's see today's numbers. And finally, business oil price steadies on Wednesday as Chinese economic stimulus package and geopolitical tensions were offset by concerns over tepid demand and a stronger dollar. At the London market, Brent crude sells for $79 per barrel. For the OPEC basket, price rises by 1.23% in late trade. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
Many thanks to Yusuf Akogu for bringing us up to speed on activities in the world of business. And now to the international scene. At least 39 people have been killed in a fire in China's southeastern province of Jiangxi, according to government officials. The blaze broke out on Wednesday in the basement of shops in the city of Jinyu. State broadcaster CCTV said 9 people were injured and were taken to hospital, while many others remained trapped. CCTV video showed several fire trucks and other emergency response vehicles arriving on the scene as firefighters worked to extinguish the flames. More than 100 firefighters, police and local government officials were deployed. The local government said a search and rescue operation was underway, adding that the cause of the fire was under investigation. Let's now join Emmanuel Fashemi for Sports News.
The Chairman House of Representative Committee on Sports, Ekene Abubakar Adams, has applauded the Super Eagles for reaching the knockout stage of the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire. The sports administrator said the Super Eagles are on the right path after they defeated Guinea-Bissau in their final group game. Nigeria qualified for last 16 of Africa's biggest sports tournament on Monday, unbeaten in the group stage and conceded just 1 goal. Adams, the former general manager of Remo Stars, said 3-time winners have continued to improve with every game. He described Jose Pizarro's men as resilient, patriotic and dedicated, tipping them to go all the way to the final. The member representing Chinkun/Kajuru Federal Constituency, however, charged the team to sustain the momentum and remain focused till the very end. The Super Eagles will take on West African rival Cameroon in the round of 16 in Abidjan on Saturday for a place in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, games in Group F between Tanzania and DR Congo, Zambia versus Morocco are currently ongoing. British middleweight champion Nathan Henney says the stakes are massive ahead of his fight with Brad Pauls in terms of securing a potential shot at the world title. The 34-year-old from Stoke defends his British crown for the first time against English champion Pauls in Birmingham on 16th March. Henney extended his unbeaten record to 18 fights when he upset Denzel Bentley by a majority decision to claim the British title in November in Manchester. He is now preparing for a swift return to the ring as his quest to bring a world title fight closer continues. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
But that wraps up the news hour on Trust TV. Do well to follow us across all of our social platforms and of course join our live stream on YouTube for more news, programs and documentaries. I'm Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you for watching and good night.